of Theology, one of my alma maters, so it's always great to come here and be a part of this wonderful place. You know, when I was driving here tonight on 281 from downtown, there was a beautiful sunset. I don't know how many people saw the sunset tonight, but it was the entire skyline, you know, and the cloud, beautiful color, such a beautiful sunset. Come on forward, Iman. And while I was watching the sunset, it made me think, what if compassion were our measure each day for the beauty of the sunset? What if that's how we measured our day and the beauty of it? And my next thought after that was, well, thank God that with us, in spite of us, because of us, and because of love. The sun sets beautifully anyway. You know, and so we're given that gift. And so I suppose that's my prayer for this evening. Compassion becoming the measure of beauty and peace in this world. So I want to welcome you all for coming. And again to thank Rose and Oblate for hosting this second stop in the 2013 San Antonio Pilgrimage of Compassion. The first stop was the San Antonio Annual Blessing of the Peacemakers that happened at the peaceCENTER last month. And so this is our second stop. You should have all received this handout. And it says on one side, Pilgrimage of Compassion, and the other side it says the Charter for Compassion. If you would pull that out, please. And so tonight is this beautiful evening of compassion, an interfaith dialogue looking at compassion. Where in this world is compassion? To hear about what different faith traditions have to say about compassion, what different vantage points and viewpoints in the world of compassion, where it exists, where it's missing, where it's needed. I love these kind of things because you never know what you're going to learn, and you know you're going to learn something. So that's always, I find it exciting. Anyway, on the side that says Pilgrimage of Compassion, you'll also see our 3 upcoming stops in March and in April and in May. And there will be studies, there will be stops all year long. And there are ways that you can become a part of that and hear about them, compassionNET and signing up. And we'll be talking about that more throughout the evening, but that gives you a little bit of the movement. We also have a book group on compassionate living that's starting next week right here at Oblate School of Theology. And how many people are signed up now? 26. 26, but there's still room in the room for you to come to that. This whole movement started with a study of a book entitled 12 Steps to a Compassionate Life by Karen Armstrong. Maybe some of you are familiar with Karen's beautiful work in the world. She received a TED Award, and with the monies that she got with that award, she not only wrote the book and studied this, but she put out this huge plea across the planet of what would it mean and look like for us to become a compassionate planet, a compassionate people. And by engaging world leaders and faith leaders from all over the world, they wrote a Charter of Compassion, and she came up with 12 simple steps as well. And that's kind of what informed those of us at the peaceCENTER, where I humbly and honorably served with the all-volunteer core team there, what brought us to this point in time and to having this pilgrimage. In her book and in the website that's listed on the other side of this page, they encourage cities to become compassionate cities, which is one of the things that we're working on in the peaceCENTER as well. But everybody in this room then becomes a part of that. How do we become a compassionate city? How do we spread that word? So that's kind of what brought us into being. And we'd like to start the evening with actually doing a responsive reading of the Charter of Compassion. We did that at the Blessing of the Peacemakers, and we kind of decided that we want to do that at every stop. And we found it to be very meaningful. And so I want to invite you to do that responsively with me. I'll read, and if you join in where it's got bold type. The principle of compassion lies at the heart of all religious, ethical, and spiritual traditions, calling us always to treat all others as we wish to be treated ourselves. Compassionate tells us to work tirelessly to alleviate the suffering of our fellow creatures, to dethrone ourselves from the center of our world and put another there, and to honor the inviolable sanctity of every single human being, treating everybody, without exception, with absolute justice, equity, and respect. It is also necessary in both public and private life to refrain consistently and effectively from inflicting pain, to act or speak violently out of spite, chauvinism, or self-interest, to impoverish, exploit, or deny basic rights to anybody, and to incite hatred by denigrating others, even our enemies, is a denial of our common humanity. We acknowledge that we have failed to live compassionately and that some have even increased the sum of human misery in the name of religion. We therefore call upon all men and women to restore compassion to the center of morality and religion, to return to the ancient principle that any interpretation of Scripture that breeds violence, hatred, or disdain is illegitimate, to ensure that youth are given accurate and respectful information about other traditions, religions, and cultures, to encourage a positive appreciation of cultural and religious diversity, to cultivate and inform empathy for the suffering of all human beings, even those regarded as enemies. We urgently need to make compassion a clear, luminous, and dynamic force in our polarized world, rooted in a principled determination to transcend selfishness. Compassion will break down political, dogmatic, ideological, and religious boundaries. Born of our deep interdependence, compassion is essential to human relationships and to fulfilled humanity. It is the path to enlightenment and indispensable to the creation of a just economy and a peaceful world.